In this video, I'll tell you how student loans could impact your visa application. Let's jump right into it. Hey, what's up? Welcome to the channel. So I get a lot of questions about how taking student loans could impact your visa application. So I just thought I'll answer some of those questions based off of my experience and what I've seen with other people as well. So all of that good stuff said, let us jump right into it and talk about and try to answer your questions. So first question is, do I need a bank statement if I already have a loan approval letter? Short answer is no, but it depends. So the most important thing to your school and to the embassy of that country you're applying to is that you can show how you will pay 100% of your tuition plus living expenses. So if you have a loan approval letter that shows that the loan provider will provide 100% of your tuition plus living expenses, then you don't need a bank statement. But the point is, it is very rare to find a loan provider that would offer your tuition and living expenses, especially as an international student. A loan provider that wants to provide 100% of everything, that is very rare. So usually you will still need a bank statement or a sponsorship letter or some scholarships. But if you have a loan approval letter that confirms that a loan provider will provide 100% of your tuition and living expenses, then you don't need that bank statement. So second question is, what if I don't want to come back to my home country? How do I handle the visa interview? So this person is likely asking about the US student visa interview process, because the US requires you to go for an interview before your visa is approved. Now, this person doesn't want to return to their home country, so they're asking, how do I handle this whole interview thing if I don't plan to return to my home country and I have student loans? So here's what I think. I did a video recently. I don't know if it's gone live yet, but if it has gone live, I will put it in the description. But the main thing is, when you are at the visa interview and they ask you anything around like, how do you plan to pay back your loans, or what is your plan post graduation? If I were answering those kind of questions today, I would try not to say anything related to location. So I wouldn't say something like, I plan to stay back in the US, get a job and be able to pay back my loans. Even if that is your plan, what you must remember is intent. The goal of the student visa is not immigration. So you always have to remember that. If you show the visa officer your plan is immigration, your visa will not be approved. You need to remember that. So whatever your plans are, your job that day that you go for the visa interview is not to show that you want to stay back in the US, whether or not that's your plan. I will stay away from like saying anything about location. I'll talk about the industry I want to work in, the kind of jobs I want to get, and how I will pay back my loans. I plan to get a very senior role in the tech space, and with that, I believe I'll be able to pay back my loans. I will not say anything whether that tech job is in the US or not. That is not something you should say, because that's against the major criterion for approving your student visa. So another question I got is, if I take student loans, will this impact my ability to get the postgraduate work permit in Canada? Basically, do I still qualify for the postgraduate work permit in Canada if I take student loans? And this one is, I know it's a big fear many people have, but no, this doesn't impact your ability to get or to qualify for the postgraduate work permit in Canada. Like, Canadians and Americans fund their education with student loans every time, especially Americans. So it doesn't impact your ability to do anything. If you can pay back your loans, nobody cares. Like, you will qualify, you will still be eligible to apply for the postgraduate work permit, even if you take student loans. Student loans, on like how you fund your education, is not one of the requirements that Canada has, like for you to qualify for that. So this is not an issue. Like, just be at rest about this one. There's no problem. So another question that I got is, this person is filling out the US student visa application form, basically the DS-160, I think that's what it's called. The person is filling out the DS-160, which is the visa application form for the US. And one of the questions is, who is sponsoring your visit? So this person is asking because they are taking student loans and they have a co-signer. Now, the person is asking, is my co-signer the person sponsoring my visits and my education, or what should I fill in, basically? When you're filling in that form, you need to remember that you are still the person sponsoring yourself to school. It is not your co-signer that is sponsoring your trip and your education. It is you, not the co-signer. The co-signer is basically going to help you or going to pay back your loans if you default. If you don't default, the co-signer is still not going to pay back your student loans. So you are fully responsible for your education and for sponsoring yourself if that's the case, except you have a sponsor that is providing, all the cash for your trip and everything. But if that's not the case and this person is just a co-signer, then no, it's not their name you should put on the form. It is your name. You're sponsoring yourself, and that's self. So don't put in their name as the person sponsoring your education. So next question I got is, should I borrow or should I take student loans for 1 year or for 2 years? This depends. If everything were great, I would just say, yeah, apply for 2 years, everything you need for the entire duration of your program. And if that is approved, then great. And when you get to school, you can tell the loan provider, hey, I only need for 1 year, don't bother sending me any cash for my second year. But of course, you need to read your loan agreement and what is stated there. Can you easily say you don't want for your second year without getting any penalties? You just need to check your loan agreement. But usually if you tell a loan provider, I don't need this for my second year, but I need it for my first year after you've been approved, that's fine. So it's not a problem. But if I were to advise, I'll say just apply for, all the cash that you need and see how much they approve for you. And then the other question I got is, I got the amount that the loan provider approved for me would only cover my expense or like my tuition for 1 year. What should I do? Sadly, this is all that you have, really. There isn't much you can do other than first apply to other loan providers. So if you've applied to Prodigy, apply to Empire. If you've applied to Empire, apply to Prodigy or Quorum. That's one thing you can do. And I'm talking about, and these are options that don't require you to have a co-signer. If you had a co-signer, there are many more options. So apply to other loan providers, see what they offer you, and whichever one offers the highest amount, you can go with that. Of course, you have to pay attention to things like the interest rates and stuff like that, and some of the terms. But if they were all similar, just apply to other loan providers. And the only other thing you can do is to get a sponsorship letter from your family member, your friend, your family friend, your enemy, your neighbor, your boss, your colleague, anything. Get a sponsorship letter, and that person should be willing to provide you their bank statements. I'll put a link to a video I did previously about sponsorship letters where I explain everything to you in that video. I'll put that link in the description. Just watch it and see how you can get a sponsorship letter. And at the end of that video, I also provided a free sponsorship letter template that you can basically type up or copy and provide to your, to your sponsor. All right. Thank you for watching today's video. If you have any more questions about taking student loans and how that impacts your visa application, just put a comment below and I will answer those questions. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. Give this video a thumbs up if you want me to make more videos like this about student loans and how they impact and how student loans impact your visa application. But give this video a thumbs up and, subscribe, join the family. So you see other videos, did I say videos? But anyway, so you see other videos that I post like this one. So I hope you enjoy it and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.